All right, let's dive into the Achaeans landing at Troy. So this is towards the end of the Cypria. In fact, we've only got a couple more images left in this chapter, and then super excited to be jumping into the Iliad. So this is the first situation where the Achaeans are reaching Troy and landing and getting into conflict. I have it in the book text, but it doesn't show up in this image. But Menelaus and Odysseus actually go and try to do a diplomatic mission or they do go into Troy to try to ransom Helen and get her back. And that does not go well. So they come back out and rejoin the ships, and then the ships, basically invade the coast, and we get our first, instance of conflict between these two cultures. So I just threw in some perspective lines, and these triangles are representing the ships or the formations of the fleets. And I know that's probably not historically accurate, but I mean, I think we're taking some liberties here. 1,000 ships coming into the coast. We have to make some sense out of all of that. And I like the idea that they're coming in as triangles, kind of like almost like a wedge shape or an axe head or something that's going to like pierce. And it gives you some directional, shapes and momentum and forms. And then, just throwing some of the characters up there. Achilles, his mother Thetis. And then, of course, Hector is spearing Protesilaus, who was the first Greek to jump off the ship and reach the shore and fight. And Thetis tells Achilles not to be that first person because that person is prophesied to die quickly. So just playing around with the colors here and the composition, trying to understand what the values should be. Typically, I do have this figured out in the thumbnail, but I'm also still continuing to, revise and figure it out as I go. Just throwing in some dark shapes here for the ships, and I know that I'm gonna have to figure that out later with more detail. Let's see here. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a river around Troy. The god Scamander will be showing up later in the Iliad for some hijinks with Achilles. Yeah, so this was a cool image. It was one thing I enjoyed about this image was playing with scale. So of course we've got this epic scope, this bird's eye view of the sea and the ship fleets coming in, and then in the background and the horizon we have these giant towering figures of Achilles and Thetis. And so I think I want to do more of that in the future, is just pushing the scale and breaking the rules of what you're allowed to put into one image. It creates for some very surprising images. So hope you like it.